Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick, and today we're going to do something different for our mock drafts. This season, I am so confident in my app and being able to help me draft a top quality championship caliber team. You know, over the past 4 seasons, I played in a total of 12 fantasy football leagues, and I have won 6, and I've been to 7 championship games. Okay, that's a pretty good record. So I decided this year I'm upping the stakes. I'm going for high stakes fantasy football. So I have enrolled myself in three different FFPC championships. These are the ones that are sponsored by the football guys. We're going to give it a try this year, and I have just received an email that tells me that in one of the leagues, I'm going to be picking 5th, so I know my draft position now. It is a 12-team league that I'm going to be drafting in. And also, because this is FFPC, this is a PPR league, but they give you 1.5 points for tight end receptions. It also is a dual flex league, so there are 2 flex positions for running backs, wide receivers, or tight ends. So we are going to go ahead and draft in the ESPN PPR list. You can see I am picking 5th here. There I am. And we got 50 seconds to go before this thing starts. But we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to go ahead and help us pick players today. And so if you want to use this app, what you need to do is you need to go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. And the app is $9.95 for a 1-year subscription. And you can use it on as many leagues as you want. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. So this is when you actually enter the app itself. And it's going to ask you, how does your league score points? Well, I have set up new this year a PPR with tight ends at 1.5 points per reception. So we will go ahead and we'll select that. Then it says, do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? For this case, I want to keep all the players on there so we can see them all. So I'm just going to say no to this. And then finally, do you want to enter draft mode? So this breaks the list down based on the size of your league and your draft position. So we're definitely going to do this. So we're going to set up a 12-team league, picking 5th. And we're going to go ahead and enter draft mode. Now, this is a PPR list, but I modified the tight ends. I moved all the tight ends up half a round. And I'm guessing that's about where they're going to go. But basically, this vastly increases the number of fantasy viable players. And what we want to do is we want to get as many players who have a value rank in the top 100 as we possibly can. Now, of course, we'll speculate towards the end. And the FFPC is actually a 20-round draft. ESPN is only 16 rounds, I do believe. And so, and it's going to make me take a kicker and a kicker and a defense. So, but we're going to go through the first 14 rounds here. We're going to see what kind of a team we can get. And I'll tell you the first thing I'm going to do, which is going to shock some people, is I have decided that I'm going to take Travis Kelce first. All right. Now, Travis Kelce currently has an injury designation on him, so he's not well rated on my app right now, but I'm anticipating once training camp opens next week, he's going to get a full clearance. He's just recovering from some ankle surgery. He's going to be good to go, and he's going to spike up into the top 3 players at that point. But one of the big reasons why I'm taking him is because of this, his value rank. Because of that 1.5 point PPR, he is worth the 3rd most points. His value rank is 3rd. Okay, that the only people who are better are Saquon and Christian McCaffrey. That's it. Those are the only players who rank higher than Kelce this year in this kind of a league. So we're absolutely going to take him first, unless one of the top 4 falls to my pick. Now that usually doesn't happen, but here I am. I'm in the 5th position. I'm going to be flexible here, but for all intents and purposes, I am going to take Kelce first. All right. So there we go. The draft just started, and hopefully these first 4 will pick rather quickly. It always seems to go slow, but let me just kind of give you a quick tour of what the app is like. Now, when we're in draft mode, you can see up here you got the position filter. So if you just want to look at running backs or wide receivers or tight ends, you can do that. You just use the position filter. Down below it here are the round filters. So this is going to be the first round of play. You can see we're at pick number 5. In the second round, we're pick number 20. So what we see here in the first round tab is we're going to see all the players with an expected draft position of number 2 to number 21. So there's a little bit of overlap on each side. And then, but instead of being sorted by their draft position or being sorted by some dubious ranking, I have created what I call a VORC score. This stands for Value, Outlook, Reliability, and Consistency. And what this does is these 4 columns right here, Value, Outlook, Reliability, and Consistency, the 4 key metrics that I look at when I'm determining how much I like a player. And based on how they score on each of these positions, they get points. And then those points are added up, and that's how you get a VORC score. So you can see at the very top of the list, we've got Zeke Elliott, Alvin Kamara, 2 long shots. That's what the gun means, long shots, so probably not available in time for my pick. But should either of them fall to me, those are guys that I would pick instead, right? You also had Devontae Adams, very highly rated here in this kind of a league. Christian McCaffrey, of course, very close to the top. Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster. Down near the bottom, what you got is you got poor choices for one reason or another. You got Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook. Injury risk players, players that switch teams in the offseason, players that have poor value relative to our draft position. These are all things that pull players down the VORC score list. And those are the players you should avoid. So when you're in an app, when you're in a live draft, focus on the players towards the top of the list. You'll be just fine. Now, I just minimized the recommendations list because we don't need to read all the text there. You probably can't read it anyway. But this is just going to summarize the 3 top VORC score players that get at least 3-star rating. We're going to use this to help make our determinations going forward. So let's see here. Where are we? See, we're only at pick number 2. This is ridiculous. I'm going to pause until we are at our pick, and then we'll see who's available, and we'll make our selection at that point. All right, well, that took forever because each player took the full minute and a half to make their selection. That means they're not sitting at their computer right now. But it was the first 4 that I expected, the 4 king running backs. They're all gone. So I'm going to go with my initial choice, which is Kelce. And then all you need to do is on the app, just go to round 2, and we're going to look at what players are available. Now, the top recommended players would be Mike Evans, George Kittle, T.Y. Hilton, 2 quality, top-notch wide receiver 1s available this round. Also, a fantastic tight end. Now, we already got Kelce, but this is a dual flex league. If I wanted to, I could get a second tight end if I want. I do not want one. But what I'm really looking for is a running back, but only if the right running backs fall to me. Unfortunately, there's some bad running backs available at around my pick that I'm really just not interested in. It includes players like Leonard Fournette, who is it? Devontae Freeman, guys with, low reliability, big injury issues, guys I want to stay away from the draft. Now, obviously my favorite, if he could make it to us, would be Joe Mixon, who is a long shot right now because his projected draft position is 17th. We're not picking till 20th. So his chances of making it to us are very, very slim. I'd say probably around 10 to 20%. But if he was to make it to us, that'd be great. Likewise, Gurley, who also is another super long shot. I believe he goes 16th. If he made it to us, I'd take him. But the other choices available, again, Dalvin Cook, huge injury risk. Damian Williams, who I like, but I might be able to get him on my next pick. He's a reach here. That's what these hands mean. He's a reach this round, but he's a long shot next round. I could take my chances to see if Damian Williams would still be available, who I would love to get. And then you got Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb, I got to say, I've been liking him more and more as the season goes on. I believe in the Browns offense, and to have him as my RB1, that would be great. He doesn't offer great value here, but you got to realize, man, this season, the well of viable running backs is so small. I was looking at it yesterday in half point PPR. There's only about 32 or 33 running backs that are at least flex worthy. Okay. That means there's 67 players that are not running backs that have as good or better value than what the running backs have. So it's a very thin group, and they are basically all gone by the 5th round. So you got to go early and often on running back. So I do like the idea of taking Chubb, but of course Mike Evans offers the most value. See, Chubb's value rank is 24th, which isn't bad. Joe Mixon's value rank 19th. That's even better. But if we look at Evans has a value rank of 12th. That is awesome. So I think I'll go in that order. Well, obviously, we'll see if Mixon makes it to us. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to go with Evans, but I might go with Chubb too, just because. Or I could gamble and wait to see if maybe he'll make it to the next round. So we're just going to go back here. Oh, look, it's almost back to my pick. That's perfect. So let's see here. Is Mixon still on the board? Nah, see, Mixon's already gone. He was already taken. Gurley gone too. Gurley gone too. So, you've got Mike Evans right here. You've got Nick Chubb right there. You got, let's see here. Oh, is it almost back to us? Nope, not quite yet. But I think I got to go with Evans just for the value. So we're going to have an elite tight end. We're going to have an elite wide receiver. And then I'm going to go running back, to get the best running backs we can in the next few rounds. And we'll get some good ones. There's still good ones on the board. Oh my, look at that. What happened? Someone just took Evans. Holy cow. All right. Well, decision has been made. Now, look, there's some other players. You got Antonio Brown here on the board. Oh, and T.Y. Hilton's right here. Okay, now T.Y. Hilton's value, if we go back and look, T.Y. Hilton offers 22 value versus like someone like Chubb, who Chubb is 24 value. So they're very equivalent. So I'm not getting as much of an advantage as I would be by taking Evans. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Chubb. And he's going to be my running back 1. I think that's a great choice. Now let's run to the third round. And again, we want to go running back again. You can see the top rated running back is Derrick Henry, who I do very much like. He offers decent value, but this is a PPR league. He does not catch a lot of balls. Obviously, Damian Williams, I would prefer over him. And then who else do we have this round? There's Josh Jacobs. He would be a good choice as well. We already got Chubb. James White is a fantastic PPR play, but I don't trust him. I don't trust that he's going to be used enough in New England. I was burned by him 2 years ago. He had a great season in 2016. 2017, he got bit up the board. He got taken. He did nothing. Then 2018, he was like down in the 130s or 140s. You drafted him. He did great last season. I don't trust that. So I am going to stay away from him. But I do like, again, Damian Williams, if we can get him. Derrick Henry, also fantastic choice. Josh Jacobs, fantastic choice. We got 3 good options there. So let's go ahead and we'll get him. We're going to get him queued up. So let's see here. Damian Williams, you still on the board? He is still on the board. Derrick Henry, are you still on the board? You're still on the board. And Josh Jacobs, and there we go. So what I like to say is, I always like to put the recommended players. So we got Cooks and Woods also. I'm going to put them on as well. And I always like to queue them up. And because the reason why is because if these guys get forgotten about, if for some reason they make it to the next round, if a recommended player from a prior round is available on the next round, I say take that player. That should be the player you take. So we're going to get all these guys queued up. We got them all queued up right here, and we'll see if any of them do make it to my 4th pick. But we are just sitting here waiting for these Bobby to pick. Then it'll go really quick on these 2 because they're auto. And so you can see that Damian Williams, my favorite choice, did make it to our pick. Remember, he was a long shot. 50-50, but he made it to us, so that's fantastic. We'll take Damian Williams with our 2nd pick. So we got Chubb, Williams, and Kelce right now. Now, if you're at all worried about wide receivers, the wide receiver position is so very deep this year. And likewise, because this is 1.5 point tight ends, there's tons of viable tight ends as well. That extra half point per reception makes a huge difference in their viability. We're going to load up on wide receivers in rounds 6, 7, 8. And we're going to get good ones. We're not going to get ones. We're not going to get any wide receiver ones, but we are going to get some solid 2s. But again, we're playing to win with our running backs and our tight end. Those are going to be our positionally dominant players, and we've got great options so far. So let us go back to the 4th round now. And you can see who is it recommending. Well, Patrick Mahomes, right? So if we wanted to take Mahomes, I don't usually take quarterbacks early, but if you wanted to get the number 1 quarterback this year, okay, now you know where you need to get him. You need to pick him in the 4th round based on this draft position, okay? Also have, there's a couple of great wide receivers. Godwin, I like. Jeffrey, not too big on, but, he's decent. But we're again going to look at running backs. So we've got James White down here. Again, he's a long shot. We got Phillip Lindsay, who right now, again, has the wrist injury, so he's got the injury designation, but he should be fully cleared for camp. When camp opens next week, that'll go away. He's going to be one of my highest rated players at this point in the draft once that happens, because the injury designation directly affects the outlook. But here's the guy I want, David Montgomery. That's the rookie that I want to have on my team. He doesn't have as good a ceiling as Josh Jacobs, but awesome offense. He's taken over the Jordan Howard role. He catches passes. Tariq Cohen's there to kind of cap his value, but I think he's going to be outstanding. He's going to be our primary target. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put David Montgomery on here. And we've got a ways to go before our next pick. So I'm just going to pause, and we'll come back when we're within 3. We'll see where we're at. We'll make our selection then. All right, and we're almost back to our pick, and you can see that there's Derrick Henry, there's Josh Jacobs. These are guys that we expected would be gone by our next pick. But you can see all 3 of the players I was talking about, Montgomery, Lindsay, and Godwin from the recommended list, are still on the board. So I'm going to get Montgomery. I'm doubting he is going to go here because he is kind of below the line of sight of this list of players right here. What I'd like to say is out of sight, out of mind. I like to deal with the players that are just below the horizon and you can't see them yet, and because most players don't think about taking those guys. So we're going to take Montgomery as our 3rd running back. That is fantastic. Look at that. We got Nick Chubb, we got Damian Williams, and Derek Montgomery. Now, let's run really quickly. It's coming back to us very quickly. 5th round. This is going to be our final running back, okay? So Kenyon Drake is the top recommended player, but let's see, did any of those other guys make it? No, they got cleared out. So let's go and make sure. I hope he's still available. He is. We are going to draft him as our 4th running back. So that's amazing depth at this position. Again, we are going to win with our running backs this season, okay? Plus Kelce, right? Kelce is like our king. He is the king of this team, but all these other players are going to give us a positional advantage week to week over all of our other opponents. But we definitely need to go and get ourselves some running backs right now. And if we jump to the 6th round, the top ranked running back, and I hope we can get, the top ranked wide receiver, the one I really want us to get is Robbie Anderson, a rock solid wide receiver 2. He's the number 1 receiver on that team. I love what he did at the end of last season, coming on, developing a real nice relationship with Sam Darnold. His value is fantastic. If we look at just the receivers, his value rank 48th, and we're at pick number 68 right now. So that is an amazing value, nearly 2 full rounds of value from taking Robbie Anderson this late. So we're going to go ahead and get him queued up, and I'll put him on the queue, and then we'll put up the other guys too. Sterling Shepard is the other one. And who was the 3rd guy on this list? Well, Tevin Coleman. We don't really need any other running backs at this point. We're going to speculate on a few towards the end, but right now we're good on running backs. We got 4 of them. The other 2 guys, wide receivers this round, are both long shots. Allen Robinson, Mike Williams. Their value is not great, and so I'm not really interested in them. Robbie Anderson's my number 1 choice. We're going to pause the video till we're within 3 of our next pick. We'll see where we're at, and hopefully we'll get our guy. All right, it's coming back to us right now. You can see Robbie Anderson is still on the board. We've got 2 picks to go. I think our chances of getting him are very good right now. And so we are going to... and look at that. It happened. Robbie Anderson got taken right before our pick. So we can see, is there anyone else right here that would really interest us for wide receivers? And right now, Sammy Watkins, not really. Allen Robinson, Will Fuller, Marvin Jones. None of these guys really thrill me. So we're going to have to go with Sterling Shepard. That is a bit of a disappointment. It's always a very close call because Robbie Anderson's expected draft position is 76. We're at pick 70. We were at pick 68. He's at pick 76. I'm betting he's moving up the list right now. He's getting taken earlier and earlier, but it came back to us very quickly. We're in the 7th round right now. My favorite wide receiver in the 7th round is D.D. Westbrook. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take D.D. with our next pick here. And so that's our 2 wide receivers, Sam Shepard and D.D. Westbrook. Both these guys borderline wide receiver 2s. So that doesn't thrill me that those other guys went early. Obviously, not getting Evans was a bit of a disappointment that we didn't end up with him. But again, the wide receivers are placeholders. We are going for positional dominance in running backs and tight ends, and I think we got to go for positional dominance in the quarterback. And I'll tell you who I'm targeting now in the 8th round. If we look, Mr. Cam Newton. Hopefully he makes it to us. Right now, he's got an injury designation, so that hurts his outlook. It's hurting his fork, but I expect it. Again, he's going to be fully cleared by the time camp opens next week. He's going to be one of the top quarterback choices because this guy, when he's healthy, top 3 quarterback every week. So we're going to have to go for another positionally dominant pick. Normally, I would wait a little bit more on the quarterback, get someone like Goff or even Rivers or maybe Lamar Jackson, but we're going to have to go for Cam now because of this situation. So hopefully he will make it to us. As you can see, his expected draft position is 92. Our pick is 92. So basically he's a 50-50 shot. And I hope we can get him. Now, if we miss Cam, there are some good choices on the next round, like, Dak Prescott or Ben Roethlisberger, who's going to get the volume, and he's going to throw the ball a lot. So those guys are backups for the following round. But as far as for round 8, if we don't get Cam, you can see here the number 1 choice would be Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver, Peyton Barber, the running back, Nyheim Hines, a PPR running back. This guy is like only really viable in PPR leagues, who's a good choice. I do like the idea of going with Larry Fitzgerald. I think he has considerable upside, and he's cheap at this point of the draft, and we could certainly use another wide receiver. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to queue up Larry as well. And what we're going to do is we are going to pause until we're within 3 of our next pick. We'll see what we end up with. All right, it just came back to us very quickly, and so you can see Cam Newton is still on the board. We are going to go ahead and we're going to take him as our quarterback. I love that pick. Great at this point, considering how weak our wide receivers are. We now have a top 3 player as our quarterback and as our tight end. Now, of course, it is moving fast now, so it's coming back to us for the 9th round. They are recommending, again, quarterbacks. We do not need one now because we already got one, but we're going to get N'Keal Harry. I hope he is still on the board. Is he still there? I don't know if he made it. Let's see here. Did he get taken already? He did get taken already. That is a shame. But if we go then to the 9th round and just kind of look at, well, let's see here, look at running backs, Hines or Ronald Jones. Quarterbacks, Fitzgerald, he got taken too, didn't he? Yeah, he's off our queue. Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel. You know what? I'm going to grab Curtis. There he is. He's right there. So we'll go ahead and we're going to take him. He's our 3rd wide receiver. Again, he offers, let's see here, his value, flex level value, 93rd overall. And again, our goal is to get as many players inside the top 100 as we can. We're moving into the 10th round now, and so you can see it's recommending. Here's another great quarterback, Jared Goff, Deshaun Hamilton, the wide receiver, Damian Harris, the running back. I do like the idea of going with Damian Harris here. That would be our 5th running back. Nice depth play. And I am convinced that Sony Michel is not going to be playing a full season. He's going to miss weeks. When he misses, Harris is going to be the guy that's on the field, okay? And you definitely want to take advantage of that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Harris on our queue. And let's look at the wide receivers and see if there's any decent wide receivers. So Deshaun Hamilton is really the only one. Emmanuel Sanders would normally be who I pick, but his injury is bad. He is not going to be ready for training camp. That keeps him off my recommendation list. Deshaun Jackson, he just moved over back to Philadelphia. But again, none of these guys are very intriguing. Deshaun Hamilton will be our backup. So let's go ahead and we'll queue him up. And hold on here. Deshaun. Oh, it doesn't matter. Damian Harris made it to us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Damian Harris. So that's a nice play there. Now let's go to the 11th round. And here we go. Okay. We're going to be able to get ourselves another decent wide receiver. Terrell Williams, a good flex play, value inside the top 100. So let's go ahead and we will look him up. Terrell Williams. He is still available. We're going to take him as our 3rd wide receiver. No, our 4th fourth wide receiver, so that's a good play. I do like the fact that he's playing opposite Antonio Brown, so I think he's got some good upside there. Next round, let's see here. We got Phillip Rivers, another quarterback, quality quarterback. New England Patriots, a defense that I love this year. Chargers, also a great defense. If we look at running backs, no running backs this round. Wide receivers, again, Terrell Williams is a long shot, but we already got him. Boy, not great choices. You know what? I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna get the Pats. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get the Patriots. I love their early schedule. I gotta say, you gotta look at who they're playing. I just gotta type in Patriots. There it is. You got to look at who they're playing. Fantastic early season schedule, like the first 5 weeks of the year. Every matchup is a plus matchup. So we'll take our defense here in the 12th round. That's not a bad place to take your defense. I sometimes like to wait a little bit later than that, but that's a good choice. Certainly the best choice of this round. Now the 13th round, who are we looking at? Mohamed Sanu, Dion Lewis, and Paris Campbell. Now, there's a high upside player, speculative play, but again, if you want Paris, this is when you got to take him. So let's go ahead and we're going to get Paris Campbell. We're going to cue him. We're going to get him. And now where are we at? We are at round 14. So let's see who we're going to get here now. Because this is a 20-round draft, I'm going to definitely want to have two quarterbacks. You definitely need a quarterback to back up Cam. I like Kirk Cousins in that role. I think that's a great choice. We could also go Josh Allen on the next round, who I think is also a very safe choice because of his rushing. But the offense that Kirk Cousins is on is a better offense. So with two of the top wide receivers in the league. So I'm going to go for Kirk. Wow, see how fast it's moving right now? Completely opposite from what was going at the beginning of the draft. But okay, so we got Kirk, and now we're going to pick one more bench player here for the 15th round. And you can see here we've got Adrian Peterson, we got Josh Allison, and we got Alexander Madison, who is the backup to Dalvin Cook. That's a great speculative play. Adrian Peterson, his value is terrible for PPR, so I'm really not thrilled with him. I mean, he's the best choice here, but he's not a great choice. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and speculate. I'm going to take Madison, and that will wrap up this draft. So we're going to come back after the draft is over. We're going to recap the team and see what we think. All right, so we're back. So I got to say, I'm pretty happy with this team, all right? Obviously, Cam Newton as our quarterback and Travis Kelce as our tight end are top-notch, positionally dominant players. We're going to win those weeks in and out, no problem. Running backs, very, very strong, high-quality running backs, okay? Nick Chubb, Damian Williams, David Montgomery, Kenyon Drake, and then we also got Damian Harris, and we've got Alexander Madison. So we got a couple of speculative long shot players that could do something this season. We've got 4 rock solid starters that are at least flex worthy. Okay. Every single week, if I wanted to, I could start 4 running backs, right? Because we've got 2 flex spots. And that's entirely what I intend to do because the weakest part of this team is the wide receivers. Our number 1 is Sam Shepard. Number 2 is Dede Westbrook. And then we've got Curtis Samuel, we got Tyrell Williams, we got Paris Campbell, who's a nice high upside player that could really do something this season. But it's not a great bunch. Okay. Obviously we missed on 2 key players, right? Evans got taken before our pick in the 2nd round. And then, Robbie Anderson got taken right before our pick in the 6th round. Those were terrible turn of events. But again, I've got strong players here. I got running backs that I can trade for a quality wide receiver once we get into into this season, okay? But when you look at the overall balance of this team, 3 out of the 4 key positions, I am dominant, okay? So I'm not going to win with my wide receivers. I'm probably only going to play 2 each week. I'm going to play both my running backs in the running back slots. So it's a decent team. This is a positive team. I think this is a contending team that can really go somewhere this season. Patriots defense, great defense for at least the first 5 weeks, great matchups. And then I got Tavecchio, the Atlanta kicker, as my kicker. So that's another great pick. So I invite you to go check out my website. So again, that's at fantasyfootballmaverick.com. Go there, check out the app. Try it out for yourself. You can just by signing up, you get access to a free version of the app, which is a limited version. You can run it on a standard points mock draft. See what you think. As you can see, it worked very well. Outside of wide receivers, it worked perfect. It got me every player I wanted, except those receivers, which both got taken earlier than they normally do. Okay. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. I'm going to be posting a lot more mock drafts here for the next 2 months or so until fantasy football season starts. And please like and subscribe, comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great day.